people. You know, when they see me, must see resistance against P&M. Right? So that's why I'm UNC and proud. The region of Couva, Tabaki, Talparo was moving full speed ahead under the leadership of the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisasa and the People Partnership Government. The level of progress and development in the Couva, Tabaki, Talparo region experienced during that period of time remains unprecedented till this day. Your corporation was doing things. 14 play parks installed, roads and drains were constructed because we were receiving the support of central government and the Ministry of Local Government then. But let me tell you, let me give you a little statistics. In the days of the People Partnership Government, under our Roads and Bridges program, and I say this at every meeting because I want you to remember where we were and where we are now. We were receiving up to 8 million under our Roads and Bridges program under the People Partnership Government. We are down now to only 4 million under this present government. That is a major development under our PSIP, Public Sector Improvement Program. Under drainage, and you know the central region is a flood-prone area. We received 4 million only for our drainage program under PSIP, Public Sector Improvement Program, when we were receiving up to 8 million under the People Partnership Government. We moved from 2 million under our recreation grounds program to 1 million with 123 grounds to prepare and so on. That is where we are now. Those are the statistics. You can check it for your own self. So, brothers and sisters, under the People Partnership, we were moving ahead in this region. We got litter wardens under the People Partnership appointed at our corporation for the first time. Litter wardens. We got offices for councillors and also secretaries for the first time. Some of my colleagues on the opposite side, they would tell me very quietly that the best treatment they ever got was under the People's Partnership Government. They will tell me that very quietly. Brothers and sisters, we were cleaning water courses and rivers all over. I remember after the floods of 2010, the tobacco farmers got severe damage. And if you know the tobacco farmers well, they contribute towards a significant portion of the national food basket. They got flooded in 2010, lost almost everything. But you know what happened after 2010? We cleared the water courses every year. Every year after 2010, we cleared the water courses. And they suffered no more flooding between 2010 and up to the last flooding where they get totally wiped out once again because the water courses were not cleared from since 2015 to present. You know what happens when that, you know what was the consequence of that? The consequence of that is that the price of fresh vegetables on the market going to skyrocket. Coming for Christmas, bet your dollar that's going to happen. You know what happened? The general population will feel the consequences of that. So brothers and sisters, I think I hold the record for being the chairman of this region who cut the most ribbons. Because when the People Partnership were in government, we were opening roads and bridges and pavilions. We were illuminating recreation grounds. We were installing play parks. You know, we were cutting. I was also present when the ribbon was cut for a prize project in this region. Who knows what that is? The Children's Hospital right down the road. I was there. I witnessed that. That is something I will always remember. Brothers and sisters, under the present government, there were only 2 projects commissioned in this region. One which was, and I was invited to that one, the opening of the Couva Library. Yes, the ministry invited me. But you know what? I could not bring myself to attend, knowing fully well that the library was built by Kamla Prasad Bisasa and the People's Partnership Government. The other project that I was not invited to, but P&M opened it. Guess what? It was the aquatic center. When the minister came down and he boasted about state-of-the-art facility, does Minister Smith know how the aquatic center was built? Does he know how the cycling velodrome was built? Do you think that they would have built any of these facilities in Couva if they were in power? The answer is no. And as for Minister Dial Singh, take a little basket from Minister Smith. Open the Children's Hospital. You don't have to invite us. We are bound to come. Both Tiwari and Rudy and us in Couva ain't bound to come. Open it. for the children's sake. Open it for the children's sake. You're about to invite us? That is okay. We know we build it. There were those who are speaking about UNC not being a national party and so on, and how they are going to make it a national party. What more national than we are now? Our party was founded on certain principles, one of them being national unity. That is why I've been a long-standing member of the United National Congress for decades long before I hold any office. I was a member of the UNC because I believe in the philosophy of the party, which is one of them being national unity, the other one being prosperity for all. I believe in that in my heart. That's why I'm here today. Brothers and sisters, so my brothers and sisters, hold the faith. Let us support our leader. We have a great leader who is loving and caring, compassionate. The masses is crying out for her return to be our next Prime Minister. Let us hold tight, rally around the United National Congress, rally around Kamala Persad-Bissessar as we move to take government once again. I thank you very much, brothers and sisters.
Thank you very much, Chairman Awong. Brothers and sisters, he said one thing. He said that he's proud to be UNC. Are you proud to be UNC tonight? Are you proud to support Kamala Persad-Bissessar? Brothers and sisters, we'd like to acknowledge the presence of some more members of Parliament. We have the brilliant, dynamic Dr. Rudal Munilal. We have Dr. Tim Gopi Singh joining us, MP Fazal Karim. We also have former Minister Devad Maharaj, and we have a very special guest in the audience tonight. She has served this party through thick and thin. She has served at the parliamentary level. Let's give a warm welcome to former Senator Dr. Daphne Phillips. The next speaker is also a brilliant woman. She's the former Minister in the Ministry of Planning and Development, Minister in the Ministry of Gender and Youth, as well as Minister in the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources. You see the kind of bright people the UNC have? Let us welcome the Honorable Ramona Ramdial.
One lovely nation under a roof.
Good night, UNC family. The Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, the political leader of the United National Congress and the opposition leader, my fellow MPs and senator colleagues, NATEX members, members of the media, and again you, our UNC family. Are we proud to be UNC? Are you ready to enter into the mother of all battles with the PNM in 2020? Firstly, ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to thank my political leader, colleagues, and you, the UNC family, for your unwavering support during my pregnancy. I am extremely happy to announce the birth of my daughter, Anuja, 3 weeks ago. And I want to also continue to promote the family unit in Trinidad and Tobago. Our families and our children are the future of this country, and it is something that we must take care of. In 2 years, this PNM-led Rowley government has disappointed the citizens with their governance. They kept speaking about diversification of the economy to tourism and agriculture, but all of that is just a talk shop. After 2 years, they have failed to make tourism a priority. The Prime Minister speaks about the opposition not supporting sandals and of our unpatriotic behavior. But it is not that we don't support the project. It is really the transparency and accountability in negotiating for sandals that we are asking for. So far, we have heard about the Memorandum of Understanding being signed and government role in building the hotel, and we ask, how is this hotel going to be funded and built? Is it under a private-public partnership arrangement? And just recently in the news, we were seeing that under the HDC, they are now having problems with this private-public partnership arrangement. So I want to ask the Prime Minister tonight, how are you going to utilize taxpayers' money to to fund and build this Sandals Hotel. The acquisition of no man's land for 174 million is also under scrutiny. Was this a fair market price? The CL Financial shareholders will beg to differ, as they have put forward a previous valuation for much, much more. We were also told about a team comprising of the Minister of Tourism, Minister and other officials from the Office of the Prime Minister and other stakeholders meeting with Sandals to negotiate. However, the most important stakeholder, the THA, is not part of the process. Again, I ask, why is the THA not part of the negotiating process? You see, ladies and gentlemen, it is not only the opposition in Trinidad and Tobago who has a problem with how Sandals conduct its business, but also the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Prime Minister Gaston Brown. Prime Minister Gaston Brown is no foolish man. He was a businessman before entering into politics. He has accused Sandals of intentionally wanting to shut down its hotel in Antigua and put hundreds of workers on the breadline as they tried to negotiate for more tax concessions. Prime Minister Brown is quoted as saying, "It was explained to Sandals officials that the government finances are in a very precarious position and that if we waived duties and taxes on food and beverage, it would plunge the government finances into a crisis. This is particularly so considering that we gave up over $35 million by abolishing the personal income tax." So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask Dr. Rowley, Prime Minister, what are we giving up to get Sandals in Tobago? How much and what type of tax concessions are we giving? Are you also abolishing the personal income tax? And when will the country benefit in revenues from this project? I want to tell the Prime Minister, don't be hating on our UNC MPs and senators. I understand that he attacked our new Senator Saddam Hussein not too long ago on the same issues of Sandals. Not too long ago, he also berated my colleague from Chaguanas East, MP Fazal Karim, by telling him he's too fast. The Prime Minister has a foul mouth. Do you agree with me? He is a foul man with a foul mouth. And therefore, we cannot, as MPs and senators, be doing our business on behalf of the people in the parliament and be having the Prime Minister of this country berate us for asking valid questions. So I want to tell the Prime Minister tonight that we are the representatives of the taxpayer in this country. And it's not we alone who want to know. The taxpayers of this country wants to know how their monies are being spent. Ladies and gentlemen, on another aspect of tourism, we are, of course, always trying to attract visitors to come. But what has been lacking with this government over the past 2 years is, of course, their incapacity to market the product of Trinidad and Tobago. It is virtually absent. Billions of dollars have been spent over the past years by the THA and the Ministry of Tourism on marketing to no avail. Billions of dollars spent hosting festivals, functions, parties to attract tourists, again, with little or no revenues generated. And I make specific reference to the Tobago Jazz, the Tobago Heritage, the Blue Food Festival, and the Great Race Festival. We cannot keep doing the same things over and over, expecting a different result. Do you agree with me? In a JC of the Parliament, the Tobago Jazz Festival, the Parliament recommended that this particular festival be suspended until proper management take over so that this festival can be marketed to generate revenues. However, as usual, the government did not take on the recommendations of the parliament, and we are being told that the new Tobago Tourism Company with a foreign CEO from some other island, like we Trinidad and Tobago people not good enough to be CEOs of our own companies, they hire some fella from one of the other islands, that they are now going to be in charge of this Tobago Jazz Festival that absorbed millions and millions of dollars over the past 12 years of its inception. So this is something that we must not stay quiet on, and we must continue to agitate so that we get results. Ladies and gentlemen, it is no secret that one of the most important factors influencing tourists to visit is a low crime rate. A country as small as ours and with such a high crime rate deters tourists and visitors. Honestly, after 2 years and with the murder rate at 407 and counting, which tourists you know will want to visit Trinidad and Tobago? And that this is the reality of our situation. I want to say that the PM is all over the country defending Minister Shamfa Kujo and her roaming bill of 59,000. But in the same breath, saying every 2-year-old has a cell phone and every 2-year-old can manage a cell phone. I want him to know that she is the only minister who cannot manage her cell phone. Hopefully, she is much more aware now in her brand new Victoria Keys apartment with free Wi-Fi. In concluding, ladies and gentlemen, I want to continue to reiterate that the worst flooding we have ever seen in recent times, we got no help from the Minister of Works and Infrastructure, we got no help from the ODPM and the protective services, and therefore today we are faced with hundreds of families in Central awaiting their social welfare grants so that they can rebuild and restock and moving into their homes. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, there are constituents in the Couva region who doesn't have a stove to cook on or doesn't have a refrigerator to refrigerate their food. Again, I want to thank the leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Kamala Prasad-Bisesa, for her unwavering support of and moving forward together with the party. I want her to know that we are behind her every step of the way here. The constituency of Couva North is behind her 100% for the internal elections, and we are moving forward. We need to be united to beat the PNM in 2020. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MP. Another member of the United National Congress, UNC and proud. At this point in time, I would like to bring to you a young man from Point Fortin. He is the son of our last High Commissioner to Nigeria. He is versely qualified in economics and finance, and he is committed to being a servant of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. He, too, is UNC and proud. I bring to you none other than Senator Tahaka Obika.
Saying give thanks and praise to the Lord.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Good evening, UNC family. As I begin, I must say that this party and the people of Trinidad and Tobago are blessed to have a leader in the person of the Honorable Kamala Prasad-Bisesa, SC. A leader who serves the people truly, who puts the needs of the working people, the middle class, the poor, the vulnerable, and the disadvantaged citizens of this country in front, and ensures that in-house in the UNC family, in our nation at large, as Prime Minister, as political leader of this party, that here, truly, every creed and race finds an equal place. I want to say good evening and thanks to the MP, Rudinath Indara Singh, for welcoming us here in Couva.
A round of applause for the MP and all the members of Parliament. For my colleagues on the Senate bench, for councillors, Councillor Wong, excellent job. A round of applause for our councillors. Now, before I address what I'm going to say, the first and most important thing is we have a Prime Minister who doesn't understand the difference between P&M business and national business. So when we in the United National Congress address matters of public importance, tell Dr. Rowley that is not P&M business, that is what? National business. That is not P&M business, that is what? National business. So, I'm making sure I get you all involved because this part that I'm going to say now affects every single citizen in Trinidad and Tobago. On Saturday, some of you would have seen the Trinidad Express publish a story where I warned the people of Trinidad and Tobago that the government they are proposing a cooking tax which will unfairly burden the poor and most vulnerable. So be warned. If you have not seen the newspaper article, cooking gas, what we know as LPG gas, can rise to as high as $56. From the $22 or the $21 they are accustomed paying, they are looking, now if the truck comes around to you, it's $60. So because this government has stated that they are examining closely the amount of subsidy paid on LPG cooking gas cylinders, the removal of the subsidy on cooking gas will further increase the burden on the middle and the lower income households in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, it would amount to a tax on every single kitchen in this country. A cooking tax. Do you want that tax? Oh, Prime Minister that. No, they want to tax you so that you cannot get away. So they sat and they say, how could we tax every single national without they having a choice of getting away? Of course, you have to eat. So they tax in the gas that you're going to use. So now you can imagine the height of heartlessness of this regime to even consider removing the subsidy on cooking gas is a heartless move. This potential move by the Keith Rowley-led administration is in keeping with their mode of taxing governance on the heels of a budget presented by the Minister of Finance that takes aim at the working and middle class and the poor. This kitchen tax shows this government has no plan to generate revenue apart from taxing the people and spending on their super elite friends. So tell Dr. Rowley, this is not P&M business, this is national business. This is not P&M business, this is what? This P&M government, by these newly imposed fiscal measures, has launched an onslaught on the small man by attacking his pocket. Families will feel the measures in their homes. When you send your children to school, to the grocery, to the parlor, the Maximan, the poor Maximan is forced to raise the price of the fare by as much as 25% sometimes. But you can't blame the Maximan because he has to pay more for diesel. This government speaks of sharing the burden, while the measures increasingly overburden the most vulnerable. What we are seeing is a dangerous combination of removing subsidies and imposing taxes at a time when there are massive job losses. We are also seeing an increase in the cost of living. How is the average Trinidadian and Tobagonian expected to survive? After you include the cost of diesel and food prices, the cost of transport to get to the market due to the diesel price increases, the Telegraph review in electricity and water rates, and now this talk of a cooking tax or removal of the subsidy on cooking gas being in the millions, should all these measures, both official and signaled or unofficial, take hold, come into effect, it will make the act of feeding a poor family become insurmountable, almost impossible for many families across this country. It is as if this Dr. Rowley-led P&M government does not want you to prepare your home-cooked meals anymore, but to go to the super elite friends and buy lunch for your family. Now picture a family trying to prepare a Sunday lunch. So the small man cannot even benefit from a little cooking gas. Imagine that. Cooking gas. Imagine the month end come to an end or the fortnight and you're down to your last $100. The month end is about 4 or 5 days away. You done scrape up what you could find in the house and you're faced with a decision to pay for the gas or to pay for the food for your children. To pay for the gas to cook or to buy the food that you need to eat. That is a heartless move by this government. Because after you break the $100 to buy the gas, as we say in Trinidad, you break the 100, you don't have anything much remaining to buy food, especially after this government gives no support to agriculture. So when you go to the groceries, you're facing an increasing price of foodstuff. So this signal kitchen tax is the hallmark of an uncaring government intent on brutalizing the country. Now, I had something more to say on the Economic Advisory Board. All I will say is this. They could find no other reason than to give themselves $18 million of taxpayers' dollars in this upcoming budget for studies. Studies that may not even take hold in this or the next year because they're going out of office in 2.5 years. So that is talk for our next day. In closing, this government has demonstrated its incompetence and inability to address the needs of the people, and they have shown they have no plan to generate revenue. The United National Congress has a plan. I declare on this platform that I am UNC, and I am proud. I am confident that this party, under the leadership of Kamala Prasad Bisesa SC, will deliver to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. People-centered governance, quality service delivery, and broadening the safety net. Therefore, with boundless faith in our destiny as a nation, I declare, blessed is our nation. Blessed is the United National Congress. And we stand behind our leader, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, as we take the country to the polls. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you very much, Senator Obika. Brothers and sisters, the next speaker is a fighter. He fought in the trenches for the workers of this country. And tonight you will hear the very dynamic Member of Parliament for Couva South. Please welcome the Honorable Rudranath Indari Singh.
Thank you very much, political leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, my colleagues at the parliamentary level of Trinidad and Tobago, the chairman of the United National Congress, and NATEX, my brothers and sisters. Last week, you turned out in your thousands. At the age of 13, I was proud to join the United National Congress. And tonight, you have returned in Couva in your thousands, giving a strong sense of endorsement that you have confidence in the UNC and you have confidence in the leadership of Kamala Prasad Bisesa. And last week you signaled to the population of Trinidad and Tobago that you are prepared to return her as the next political leader of the UNC and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. My brothers and sisters, tonight, in less than 2 years, the PNM under Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has emerged to be the most uncaring, insensitive, anti-people, corrupt, scandal-ridden, and a government that cannot deliver to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So you must say to all who are listening here tonight that you want to be a part of a movement to send the PNM packing from political office once and forever. My brothers and sisters, I want to spend a few moments with you here tonight to focus on some labor matters and other matters that are impacting upon the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Because the labor movement, the labor leaders, the workers and citizens of this country must acknowledge that the biggest con job that was ever carried out on the people of Trinidad and Tobago was in the leadership of Dr. Keith Rowley and the PNM when they presented their manifesto. They told the workers and the labor movement of this country that they were ready to deliver on timely settlement of all outstanding negotiations. They wanted to review the minimum wage in a timely manner. They wanted to create jobs and grow the economy of Trinidad and Tobago. They wanted to bring to the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago a legislative agenda that would have focused on the review of the Retrenchment and Severance Benefit Act. And I could go on and on and on tonight. And in 2 years, 25,000 persons and counting has lost their jobs. The PNM has pulverized and brutalized the workers of this country. They cannot bear no more taxation, and all policies that are being rolled out by the red and ready government of Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley will tell you that there will be thousands of job losses in 2018. 2018, the floodgates will open simply because Rowley cannot lead Trinidad and Tobago. Rowley cannot diversify the economy of this country, and that is why we must send him and his bunch packing, my brothers and sisters. I want to tell you, additionally, labor relations has collapsed under the missing Minister of Labor and Enterprise Development, Minister Jennifer Baptiste Primus. In fact, she's my constituent. She lives in the constituency of Couva South. And this minister has gone to the Parliament, in and out of the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. And she indicated that she had a 10-point plan to turn around the fortunes of dismissed and retrenched workers. She said she had a plan to review and bring to the Parliament amendments to the Retrenchment and Severance Benefit Act and other pieces of labor legislation. She said she had a plan to create jobs for workers in Canada who were retrenched. She said that she would create 35,000 jobs for workers in Canada, and also wanted to ensure that they would have achieved Canadian citizenship. The only thing workers are now turning to Canada for is that we as workers are seeking asylum at the doors of the Canadian embassy. And this is the legacy of Jennifer Baptiste Primus, my brothers and sisters. And I want to tell you here tonight that she is missing in action, and the only thing I could recommend for Jennifer Baptiste Schillingberger Primus is I want to recommend, because she's my constituent. I was elected to take care of my constituents. When she was in the budget debate, she had difficulty in dealing with the word resilience. So I want to tell my constituent, I will recommend adult literacy classes for her so that she could begin to understand the league that she's in, my brothers and sisters. Additionally, I want to tell you that from a labor point of view, you cannot trust the PNM. Colm Imbert in the budget presentation said that they were beginning the transitioning of workers from the BIR and Customs and Excise, and there would be a seamless transition. You cannot trust them simply because they lied to the population of this country. They cannot transition no worker from the BIR and Customs and Excise into the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority until they have a signed agreement with the Public Services Association led by Comrade Watson Duke, and that is why you cannot trust the PNM. You cannot trust Rowley because he wants to reduce the public sector of Trinidad and Tobago. He wants to reduce the wage bill. In fact, when he had his national conversation with stakeholders at the secondary school in St. Augustine, he berated, he moaned, he groaned, he sounded like if he had a gripe about the size of the public service wage bill. And I am warning the workers of this country to be on the vanguard, to be vigilant as it relates to what will happen at UTT, what will happen at Petrotrain, what will happen in the teaching service and so on come 2018, my brothers and sisters. Tonight, I want to additionally take the opportunity here to tell you and focus you, because you have a responsibility to understand what is the agenda, what is the narrative of the People's National Movement led by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. They want you to lose faith in your leader. They want you to lose faith in your party. They want you to lose faith in your members of parliament. And that is why they have been on an all-out attack through him, through the Attorney General and the minister, the all-purpose minister, Stuart Young. Tonight, I want to say Stuart Young is like Vetsin. You know the seasoning? Like Vetsin. Stuart Young wants to be in everything in relation to the business and affairs of Trinidad and Tobago. They have been on a constant attack to demonize senior persons within the hierarchy of the UNC. And this is why they have attacked Anand Ramlogan. They're threatening to lock up Rudal Munilal. They're threatening to lock up Tim Gopi Singh. And they are threatening to even deal with Barry Padarat. But they do not want you to know. They do not want you to focus on the $100 million in spending at the Brian Lara Stadium. They do not want you to focus on the $100 million fiasco and scandal at Petrotrain in relation to AV oil and gas. They want you to forget the crooked deal as it relates to the procurement of the Ocean Flower and the Cabo Star. We must know, we must ask ourselves the question, who the Prime Minister is protecting from the point of view of a Minister of Government and who is protecting as a financier. They do not want you to remember who gave a donation of over $500 million to the Darrell Smith Foundation, bearing a similar name to the Minister of Sport. I do not know who gave the donation, but the Minister of Sport must have a responsibility to ask if indeed a foundation bearing a similar name accepted or was rewarded with a donation of over $500,000, my brothers and sisters. And then they want you to forget that a senior minister of government who pontificates on being pious and so on attempted to deposit over $200,000 in a state bank. This is a minister, I don't know if this minister has problems with financial records and financial transactions, whether it is cash or whether it is in the form of doing credit card transactions and so on. My brothers and sisters, they want you to forget about a $16 million paid to a lobbyist and what has been his returns to the people and for the benefit of this country based on that investment of $16 million, my brothers and sisters. It is in the DNA. It is in the DNA of the PNM to manufacture propaganda. The only thing the PNM knows how to do good is to carry out corruption. It is in their DNA. They had it from Lock Joint, and we could trace it up to the procurement of the Cabo Star and the Ocean Flower. And you must never forget a former government minister in the person of Desmond Carty said, all are we thief. That is the legacy of the PNM, my brothers and sisters. So I want you to remember, what is the position of the PNM. I want you to know that as we move forward as a party, we need to unite. We need to have all hands on deck because your party has stood the test of time in whatever an incarnation it has been. And I want to tell you, we cannot fracture this party at this stage. We have the PNM on the ropes, and we must rally around our leader to ensure that we deliver the knockout punch to the PNM and Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. And tonight, there are people who are aspiring to be the leader of this party. I want to tell those who are aspiring to be the leader of this party, first you must know that to stay in the wicket, you must be able to stay in the crease. And if you want to stay at the crease or you want to bowl, and if the captain shift you around in the field, you must know how to take the shift around the field like a man. Like a man. And I want to tell the aspirant here tonight that when you want to be in the leadership, you have to be in the trenches. You have to be in the trenches. You don't just absent yourself from all arms of the party. Tonight we have a former Minister of Government in the person of Devant Maharaj. I have seen in the last 2 years ministers of government who have not been in the House or who have not had a ministerial portfolio. Some of them are unemployed now, but they have the sense of vision. They have the sense of confidence. They know that the writing is on the wall. And that is why they are rallying behind Kamala Persad-Bissessar and the leadership of the United National Congress. So, my brothers and sisters, as I told you, I joined this party when I was 13 years. So I know how to stay in the wicket, and I know how to keep my bat playing the right shot at the appropriate time, my brothers and sisters. And I want to tell you here in Couva, if you want, because it is wanted to deal with your mind and your brain and tell you that the partnership thief, the partnership was corrupt. I want to give you some examples here tonight in Couva. The Couva District Health Facility was built with taxpayers' money under the leadership of Kamala Persad-Bissessar. The Couva Interchange was built because she had a vision to deal with traffic congestion throughout Trinidad and Tobago. She had a vision for the young people of this country, and all the athletes of this country when she built the cycling velodrome and the National Aquatic Center, my brothers and sisters. She had a vision for young children and healthcare. That is why she gave the national community the Couva Children's Hospital and the Couva Children's Facility. And come hell or high water here in Couva tonight, we want her as the next Prime Minister if we have to open the Couva Children's Hospital. So when they come and tell you that we did not know what we want in terms of the future of this country, we had a vision for the early childhood education system of this country. That is why she mandated Tim Gopi Singh to build over 100 schools. She had a vision for the young people of this country in terms of future development and skills expertise. That is why the aviation campus was built. You understood people-centered development. You saw delivery in every aspect of Trinidad and Tobago's development because she was caring, she understood people's issues, and that is why here in Couva tonight, I tell you, let us unite in our thousands to ensure that Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the National Executive of the UNC returns to lead us into government beyond 2020. Long live our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Long live you, my brothers and sisters of the United National Congress, this great party. I thank you.
Thank you very much, MP. I will say again, members, family members of United National Congress, we experienced true leadership, and now we're experiencing dictatorship. We experienced construction, and now we're experiencing destruction. And I dare say that each member of United National Congress, we have the honor to witness excellence in leadership. My brothers and sisters, we have in our leader a true mother of the nation. She helped new mothers with the baby grant to make sure that their children will not go hungry. Our leader provided over 100,000 laptops to equip our children for the technological era. Our leader created the Children's Life Fund, and to date, over 250 children, their lives have been saved, securing the future of Trinidad and Tobago. Our leader made food items affordable for everyone, and they want to take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one person in Trinidad and Tobago right now to lead us forward, and that person is our honorable leader. I bring to you none other than the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
Don't worry about a thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Members of the UNC family, supporters, I say good evening to each and every one of you here. And let us thank Couva South, MP Indar Singh and his team for hosting us here. And you know, there's an expression, where you say, Rudy boy, you preach. Thank you very much tonight. Thank you all for coming. We had a great Congress last week, Tuesday. And for all those who came out, made it their business in their thousands. Again, UNC, I say I am UNC and I am proud as I thank you here tonight. I can feel your very positive energy. I can tell you that we are ready to work, and I see that you are ready to work to take our party into government once more. I am ready. Are you ready? Today and in the months ahead, we will work hand in hand to build, to prepare to return to good governance, because that is what our country needs now. As I said at the Congress last week, we need to focus our energy on ensuring that we have a comprehensive mandate to take our country forward. Others have spoken tonight, and we have witnessed the devastation brought on by this PNM Rowley-led government. On the last occasion, I spent some time talking about the pitiable state with respect to crime in our country. Violence, murder, mayhem, prison officers being threatened, and the nonsensical answers being given by the Minister of National Security to the prison officers, as well as those being given by Mr. Faris. Prison officers are being slaughtered. They're crying out for help, and no help is being given to them. But I'm not surprised, because this is the situation with almost every person in our country. There is no help, there is no care from the Rowley wicked, corrupt government. I want to take 1 second to acknowledge with us here, of course, all the MPs. Devon, I think Devon is a one-man brigade fighting the PNM. He's out there every single day, fighting. But I want to acknowledge in our midst the President General, please, of the union, the Sugar Union, Mr. Nirvan Maraj. And when Rudy was talking here, I said, these Sugar Union leaders, they are powerful speakers. And we saw it happening here. I thank you and welcome Nirvan for joining us tonight. So, we now have a Prime Minister. They're telling the prison officers whose lives are being threatened to hold strain. Another example of no care, no compassion, and I think of incompetence. They have taken us backward. They have made the lives of people harder in 2 short years. And you know, we let these polls go by so fast. You remember just in September of this year, which is just a couple of months ago, there were several polls done on the 2 years of the Rowley government. And what were they telling us? Are you better off today than you were 2 years ago? Here's the headline: worse off than before. Do you feel safer today than you felt before? And then when people were asked in the poll about the direction in which our country was going, only 6% felt that the country was going in the right direction under the Rowley regime. And so you see the headline, TT going in the wrong direction under Rowley. And then widespread dissatisfaction. So these are not just the words from us. This is coming out of the polling that was done by so-called independent pollsters just a couple of months ago in September. And so in every arena, from the polling and from our own feelings, we know that the government has failed in every regard. They have failed in every regard. Tonight I want to talk a little on education, because now we see the threats and what is going to happen to the University of Trinidad and Tobago. If it's one thing the government I led did, and my ministers, if it's one thing that was dearest and a matter of priority for us, including the fight against crime, of course, was investing in the people of Trinidad and Tobago through education. A job of a government, I told you before, has three. You have three main things to do. One is to protect. They have failed to protect us from the criminals. The second is to provide. Others have spoken, and you know they have failed to provide. And the third is to invest in people. invest in our human resource, and that is what education is about. So they just do not care. They do not care about filling any of their roles. And this is a person who stands up somewhere to say that he will do what he has to do, and it takes a man to do what he has to do, and so on. He says what he has to do is he will, whatever he has to do in hardship and so on, that he will eat banana and salt. Now, where he come from? I know it's green fig. And I like green fig. I like green fig any way you make it. And he said he'll eat dal and rice. So that's hardship for him, you know. Hardship for him is eating what we eat almost every day in this country. And while hardship is eating green fig, where's the Louis? Blue food, we like blue food. Green fig is part of it. We like dal and rice. I know some people will tell you they eat dal and rice and something today. Dal and rice and something else tomorrow. Dal and that's the food that people eat. So where are you living, Prime Minister? And whilst he talking about hard times and eating food that people eat all the time, we have ministers of his government living it up where? In $1 million apartments. So you suck salt. But they up with the Wi-Fi, as Ramona said, up in Victoria Keys. That is the big people party. As others told you tonight, the flooding, people are still suffering. They have not yet to get any kind of help. But tonight I want to congratulate Team UNC has been out in the field helping, carrying flood relief throughout. Thanks to the councillors and the activists and the MPs who were out there in the trenches that Indar Singh spoke about, giving as much relief as we could give. So while the Prime Minister talks about land grab at Tucker Valley, I was very interested to read today in the newspaper, they're saying that that was totally legal. But is it legal for his ministers to occupy $1 million apartments? You're not getting that, child. Sorry. That is going to Roma, what do you call her? Roma Shamfa. And the other minister. And then they put out an explanation today, and they said, well, the ministers who live far, which is true, and ministers who live in Tobago, that they will be given either a place to stay or a housing allowance, okay? But when you check it, when you check the terms and conditions, for a minister, yes, the allowance or a place to stay. So they gave them a place to stay, and I'll come back to that in a minute. But there is no provision whatsoever for a vice president of the Senate to get $1 million apartment in Victoria Keys. And that is how they continue to mislead us. Because you know why? The vice president not a full-time, have to work 24/7, and they have to be dislocated from Tobago to come here day and night. So when you look at the Salaries Review Commission's report, there is no provision for the vice president of the Senate, because is the freighters. There is no provision. So answer that, Minister of Housing. But let's come to this. You know what's the cost of one of those? They put out a press release today to explain this obscenity, I see it, about what's happening with the Victoria Keys. And in that, they explain what I just said. But they also said that these people will vacate it when they're no longer minister. Well, look, they have 3 more years to go. You know what is the cost of one of those apartments? Take a guess. It's about $3 million. And they have 3 years to go. You're talking about nearly $10 million, which you could have spent on baby grant, which you could have spent on laptops. So why you have to give them Wi-Fi free $1 million apartments? If you had sold those apartments, as you said you would do, you would have had about 10 million more. Every day you want to tax people, you want to squeeze people, you want to cut their throats with the taxes. But that is why I say, I always told you that is a big people party. When a man could tell you sufferation is about eating green fig and dal and rice, well, you know those people have no idea of what sufferation and suffering is in this country. So about education, I said I didn't intend to go all those places, but I think it is totally disgusting for the Prime Minister's, our colleague Ramona told us he has a different kind of mouth because he made another comment there, but I don't want to repeat it. I don't wish to repeat the obscenities that that Prime Minister sometimes engages in. So I heard this foolish talk, which others talked about tonight, about the UTT and about P&M business. That is P&M business. I want to ask him tonight, when Fazal raised the issue about the University of Trinidad and Tobago, and let me complain, Fazal, when Fazal was Minister of Tertiary Education, we expanded the tertiary sector over our own targets. We opened up for tech work. We were training people all over Trinidad in all kinds of skills, all kinds of opportunities, so they could go out there and get a job. So when Fazal raised this thing, he said, mind your own business, you're too fast. Well, Prime Minister, you are fast and out of place. You are. That was built, as Ramona told us tonight, built by our dollars, taxpayers' dollars. And if you say it's not the opposition business or taxpayers' business, is it then what we always suspected when we first went into government about UTT? Is it therefore that it is PNMU? You know, you say you have a university, is it PNM University, PNMU, like Stanford U? We knew it, and there is a case pending in court now, let me remind you, which was filed by that brilliant young man, Attorney General I.A.N Ramlogan, through his office, against Ken Julian and the people at UTT. And that case was won here in the High Court already, and I'm told it is now docketed, it is scheduled to be heard at the Privy Council somewhere in July. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. But we knew when we went in there, they were using UTT as their playground. They were hiring people, they were using people, giving them housing, giving them all kinds of things. And that is one of the cases that was filed. You remember the famous, yes, the famous, what was the word? Prophetess. Yes, that she was being housed to the tune of millions of dollars at the expense of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, no, at your expense, taxpayers' dollars. And I.A.N had filed that case to try to recover some of that money. So what have we seen since they came in? The halt in construction of the new childhood centers. And lest Tim get jealous, he was a great Minister of Education, building all these preschools. All these preschools and other schools. So much so that we were recognized in the world as having achieved universal, free early childhood education. Now what have they done? They've stopped construction of those, and many are calling me, they've stopped paying the salaries, the teachers' money in these childhood centers. We have seen, as you know, the removal of the laptop program. That hurts. That really hurts. Because we are living in an age now that is totally dependent on the computer and on the technology. You can sit in your home, you know it, and you can access the World Wide Web and you can find anything you want to find. Anything you want to find. get knowledge about. But you see, it's a big people party again. The 1% could buy laptops, but the rest of you can't buy it for your children. That is their priority. I told you about the vanity list and the paintings and the Mercedes-Benz, all this money being spent in all these things. When the priority is our children, our young people are not so young. That laptop would have been the lifeblood of the future of the children and young people of this country. The lifeblood. So in fact, you've cut their veins. When you took away that laptop program, you've cut the veins of our children to have a progressive future. I have talked to you about the fourth industrial revolution. I've talked to you about that. They don't even know what that means. Because if they did, they would not have taken away the laptops. They don't have a clue. They do not have a plan. But you know what is worse than that? Not having a clue and not having a plan? Is they just don't care. That is worse. They do not care. They do not care. So we see the cuts now at UTT coming, staff going home. What will happen to these young people when they come out of secondary school? Where will they go? There's no UTT. They cannot go to UE because they've cut the gate. They cut the gate. Where will these thousands of children coming out of secondary school, what will they do? Where will they go? No jobs, no further trading. A whole generation of our people, young ones, can be lost as a result of this wickedness, I would say, and incompetence of the Rowley government. I pledge to you here tonight that we will take back government and we will restore, if it's one program, it is a laptop program for the children of our country. So, every initiative, every program, every project that was to expand opportunities for young people, gone, cut. You know, their manifesto, and you see that's how they fool people, you know. People might be ashamed now to say, hey, they fooled me. I get catch in 2015. Repeatedly they fooled people. Let me just share some of this education thing about GATE. You know what they said in 2015 manifesto? They promised, and I quote, to preserve, maintain, expand when necessary, our system of free education and training at all levels. You know, I always ask you here lie? That is lie. They promised to ensure that the government assistance for tuition expenses, you know what that is? GATE. They promised to ensure that GATE, which we created them, they say we, in 2004, remains relevant, easily accessible, and available to all citizens who need it. You hear another lie? That is a lie too. And so, talk and more talk. We witnessed the betrayal of this promise that they made. They made it in 2016, 2015. Come 2016 budget, what did they do? They cut the GATE program by $50 million. In this 2017-18 budget, they have proposed to cut it by $150 million. You know what that means? Almost half, is it? It will be almost half of the young people, and not so young, accessing that GATE, half of them will be out on the road in the streets. Half. How many we had? 55,000, half of them. Half of that. It's not them, you know, it's your children, you know. It's our children, our grandchildren. We had 55,000 young ones in GATE. And then we also had the people over 50. They've taken out if you're over 50, forget it. You cannot GATE. So what would it mean? No longer, not only that, will they give GATE to students who are in programs, not in institutions, other private institutions, not accredited by ACTT. Further, they see no value in education and educating our people. They see no value in investing in our human resource. We all know the greatest resource of any country is our human resource. And so who is suffering now? Those who cannot afford to send children to school, teachers, nurses, police officers, will not qualify under the means test they have put in. Will not qualify because of the bar they've set for the means test. And because of the increased costs of living, such persons, ordinary hard-working persons, will not be able to access GATE to send their children to school. I ask again, what will these children do? Are there jobs for them? Are there training programs? Is there anything at all for these young ones? And the answer obviously is nothing. They are making no provision whatsoever because, once again, they have no plan. They have restricted access to opportunities and hope, and they are making the rich richer and everyone else poorer. Do you know right now, young people coming out of school, they come to our offices, the MPs will tell you, they have nowhere to go. They come, they ask for jobs, we have nowhere to send them because no opportunities are being created, and at the same time, as MP Narsingh told us, job cuts, job cuts, job cuts everywhere, at every level, at every sector. There are those who feel there are no options for them because the government has also removed funding to the tech work programs, which I talked about before. I remember when Fazal was a minister, you could go and train, you could go and get a certificate. You want to be a mechanic, you want to be a carpenter, you want to be a hairstylist, you want to be a cosmetologist, whatever profession or skill, you may have had it, but you didn't have a piece of paper, you didn't have a certificate. Fazal created a system where you could go and train and collect a piece of paper, which is a certificate, which is in modern world goes. Go to learn diesel mechanic, all kinds of mechanics, everything, skills, training. Because not everybody does paperwork, academia at the UWI. In fact, we need more of those skills people than we need the UWI graduates. Yes, we need all. But the jobs, those are the jobs now. You want a good carpenter, you want a good mason, they used to go and get the training. All of that is gone. All of it is being shut down. They're shutting down and they're so spiteful. They're so wicked and spiteful. You know, they're cutting down the centers in their own constituencies. Yes, in their own constituencies. They're cutting off their nose to spite their own face. And so, tonight I say, they're weakening our human resource, our intellectual capital, and we may see a generation doomed forever. On the other side, I want you to look at our vision. What is the UNC vision for the way forward? We believe firmly in investing in our human resource through education. This is why we focus so heavily on education. We built over 100 new schools, the 100,000 laptops Denisha spoke about. We also went forward where every one of the 36,000 young little ones will get the early childhood place in that school. We completed the University South Debe campus. Wouldn't open it, spite and malice and wickedness. You know, they did the same thing to the Bish High School. It took us 14 years to come back into government to open that Bish High School, and it is functioning now. And so it's the same spite and malice. They will not open the Children's Hospital. They will not open the Debe campus. They will not open the Carlson Field Center that Visham spoke about for persons with challenges, man. These are the most vulnerable. These are the ones most in need. I have an autistic granddaughter. I understand the challenge of parents who have to deal with those who are challenged and the children are challenged. The cerebral palsy children. That center was to help them, the children and the parents, all with disabilities. I think in our country there are about 55,000 persons with disabilities. We built that center, the first of its kind in our country. The doors remain shut tight today. But Mr. Rowley, you're not suffering me, you know. You're suffering the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We constructed something known as an integrated university campus. Guess where? In Tobago, you know. Fazal, to house COSTAT, UTT, and the UWI, so Tobago students would not have to come to Trinidad. They could stay and study in their homes in Tobago. But someone mentioned already, we established the Aviation Institute. Fazal used to tell us what? The Sharon cane cutters, they have come from cotton cane to flying plane. They shut that down too. They shut that down too. We established the first ever drilling academy in the history of our country, responded to upstream energy industries, and to date, they have closed it down too. The aviation campus, that we expanded the gate for TechVoc education and training. We also established the first ever up at El Dorado to train medical personnel, nurses, and other medical personnel. I tell you, if you go and see that El Dorado campus, it is like any university campus in the world. State of the art. We did that. Because we knew every time you hear hospitals don't have nurses, always a shortage of nurses and other kinds of medical personnel. Right now they're crying, they cannot open the hospital in Couva because they don't have personnel. Well, that's the point. Sending home doctors, nurses. We have hundreds of qualified doctors who can't get a job. Not true, Dr. Gopi Singh. They cannot get a job. But the hospital, they say they cannot open because they don't have personnel. But you know what is the truth? The truth is they have no plan. They have no clue. They are incompetent. They are totally incompetent. So we have to prepare the way. We have to prepare ourselves to unite, to go forward into government so that we can open that hospital, we can open the campus, and we can do the projects in the best interest of the people. So I spoke about the fourth industrial revolution because they tell me, you know what? Well, you all stand up on a mic every time and you talk and you talk and you blame and you complain and you have no solutions. I have been talking about this since the first budget reply after we lost the election. That was in 2016, for the 2016 to 2015 to 16 budget. And again now, I raised it again. What this is about. Let's understand it. And those of you with the laptops, share it with those without laptops. Go on and see what this fourth industrial revolution is about. Because that is the way the world is going now. So you talk about diversification. That is one option to diversify into tourism, into boat buildings and all the others. Yes, that's an option, and that can be a parallel option as well. The other one is to put the ICT into existing industries and sectors. But this is the way forward. This fourth industrial revolution, we started on that journey, the global digital economy, with the decision to give those same laptops that I talked about. We laid the foundation for further opportunities in ICT education. And if that had been continued, it would have expanded, it would have expanded opportunities for people in the digital age. Your party, the UNC, is looking at this fourth industrial revolution. We are exploring ways to engage the existing and rapidly expanding global digital economy as a diversification strategy. What this involves is online transactions, innovations and new concepts, such as Internet Things. Not just internet now, but internet things, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, robotics, drone technology, augmented reality, games, online entertainment, online education, and telemedicine. Telemedicine, that you can stay home and have access, telemedicine, to your doctor. A brilliant doctor in one part of the world can stay wherever they are in that country and through telemedicine could treat you here in Trinidad and Tobago. This is the future. This is a revolution that can take Trinidad and Tobago out of the recession, the doldrums that we now find ourselves under the PNM. But the PNM is stuck in the past. With Keith Rowley, there is no hope, no vision, no ideas to take us forward. So as I close, my UNC family, I say we are entering a period where there will be many voices. There will be many detractors coming forward to criticize you in the UNC first. And of course, your leadership. They're entitled to criticize me. But you see, when they insult the membership of the UNC, I get vexed. I get damn vexed. Do not insult the UNC. You're vexed with me? Talk about me. I will handle you. I told you, I can fight. I can fight. I will handle you. But do not insult and abuse the membership of the UNC. Do not call them sycophants. Do not call him any of those other kinds of words, because you are, this membership of the UNC, you are the ones that held us strong together to fight the wicked PNM. Fight the wicked PNM. Do not get discouraged by these detractors. And when they say a sycophant, you know why they call you a sycophant? Because they say the UNC supporting Kamala. So because you're supporting Kamala, you are a sycophant. That's not a good word in their words. But what it means is that you are loyal to your party. But when they call you that, that's not what they mean. So you are a sycophant because you know what? You're not voting for them. That's what that means. That insult. That is an insult. And you want these same sycophants to come vote for you as their leader? They want you, sycophants, excuse me, I didn't call you that. They want you to come and vote for them, to be their leader. You see? And you're a great soldier, Louis. You're a great soldier of the UNC. So don't worry. Don't get discouraged. I want to know if I will walk with you in the polling booth, take your hand and put the X next to my name. That's what they mean by sycophant, you know. That you are handcuffed in some bad way. That when you walk in that polling booth, what you're going to do? You have the free will. And if your name man, put your name on the ballot paper and let the membership decide. You have a chance. You want change? Now is the time to change. Put your X on the ballot paper. Don't stand up and say you want change when the only change you want is not yourself, you know. When they speak and they say, I want change. People telling me they want change. It doesn't mean them, you know. It don't mean them. You know what it means? It means change Kamala. So every man saying they want change, but not one of them is willing to change and go. What they want you to do is change Kamala and everybody else stays. True or not true? Read the lines, man. Because if you really wanted to change, now is the time to make the change in the leadership by a free and fair election. One man, one vote. One man, one vote. Now is the time. And don't back, you know. Don't back out, you know. You cannot, you know, you're throwing shade. Yeah? You want to throw shade. So don't back. When you come to shoot, politically, as they say, shoot. Don't talk. So, you know, how can a member of our party who wants to lead the party say the UNC cannot win a general election? How can a member say, why are you throwing shade on your own party? Why are you bad talking your own party? Don't say the UNC cannot win a general election. Say, I don't like Kamala and I want her to go, and I say, put your X, bring your ballot, and come, we'll fight it. Manos y manos. So don't hide behind camera screens, you see. Come down on the ground. Come in the heart of the UNC membership. Come in the trenches and let us fight. Let us fight. So you have to wonder of some of these detractors living in the same country like we are. Are they not seeing the incompetence, the vindictiveness, the oppression of the Rowley-led regime? Are they not seeing, are they insulated from the violence being perpetrated against the people of this country? Are they not seeing how people are being brutalized by high food prices, job loss, inability to get even basic health care? I tell you tonight, the UNC is strong and growing. Yeah. We have a cake for him. We have a cake after. And so let me just share some numbers with you. You see, because people are talking, but we haven't seen them for 2 years, except when they go on the TV or radio to bad talk the UNC. They have not attended a single party event in the 2 years since they got a licking in 2015. They have not participated in a single party event. True or not true? Have you ever seen them in any UNC event in those 2 years? No. They have not participated in any committee or in any of the institutions of the party. Don't see them at all. So how can they know what is happening in the UNC? But you see me, I am UNC and I am proud. I'm proud. Let me give you just some data. When I became the leader of this party in 2010, the party had been in existence for about 21 years. So 1989 to 2010. 21 years the party had been in existence, 2010, when I fought the leadership elections. Do you know what the membership was then, the numbers? Any idea, anybody? In 2010, when I fought the leadership elections for a great party, the membership was 34,000. In 21 years, listen, 34,000 souls. Today, after 7 years of my leadership, we have had a 300% increase in our membership numbers. So when you don't know, don't talk about the party doing nothing. We have over 100,000 members now. A 300% increase in our membership. And then we went through in 2015, yes, we lost. We lost is recorded as a loss. But listen, Dred, don't blame Kamla when you lost St. Joseph, you know. Kamla won Superior over and over and over again. And I don't blame you either. I think what happened, I always say, when we divide, we lose. When we united in 2010, we won. When we united in 2011, we won that local government, overwhelmed. 2013, why did we lose it? We lost it because we were divided. You had the ILP factors and so on. Then now, we come down, they say, well, I lost THA election, or I never know I had any party in the THA election, but okay, I'll take the shade for that one. But again, we were divided. Tobago, when they ran THA, there were several parties running for the councils there, for the THA. But listen to this. So we went through 2015. Yes, I have learned a lot, I told you, from introspection, from the hard work we've been doing since that for the 2 years, we have learned a lot. Yes, there were mistakes made, but I think it's time some big, hard-back men stop blaming Kamla for everything. You must stop it. You must stop it. You know, it is said, and I see we had some rain today, it is the rain that grows the flowers and the plants and the trees. It is not the noise of the thunder. So make your noise, rattle this empty vessels, make your noise out there. But be real and take some responsibility. We were all in it together. Take your responsibility. Take your responsibility too. All of us must take responsibility for what happened, learn from it, and let it not happen again. That is the way forward. This blame game thing and a total abdication of any responsibility for what happened, that's little children business. That is not responsible behavior. Take your blame too and ask the other 18 MPs, do they blame Kamala because they won their seats? They won their seats, and watch them. 18 MPs won their seats, but he couldn't win a seat in St. Joseph and want to blame me. It could have been worse than 18 fellows. Understand that. It could have been worse, but it also could have been better. So let us be better. Let us unite. Let us fight. Let us return to government. Let us be better. And then, when we came to local government, 2015, yes, whatever happened, happened. I take responsibility, yes, for 2015, as I take responsibility for 2010 and 2011. And we came to 2016 with local government polls, yes? And 2016, PNM in power, you know. Not us, not the opposition. And we won more votes than the PNM. So we must have learned something. And with each day that passes, I never stop learning. I never stop learning. And then when the polls came out in the September polling, the second anniversary of the PNM, I wonder how many of you remember that my approval rating was higher than that of the Prime Minister. So I'm not good enough to lead my party to win a general election, but my rating higher than the present Prime Minister. All the numbers are there. Let's be real. Let's be real and see the reality as we go forward. So if you come in, as I say, you better come good. Don't come with false facts. Don't come with unreality. As I say, when you come in politically, you're coming to shoot. Fellas, shoot. Don't talk. Just don't talk. Just do it. Do it. Do it. So I shared some of that with you. And I urge you tonight. Yeah? And I will continue urging you. Do not let what happened to the PNM happen to our great party. And you know what happened in the PNM? A select few, the 1%, took control. I will never let that happen to our great party. Never, never, never. And then they say we will always stay in opposition. And this coming again from people who want to lead our great party. Let me repeat what I said last time when I spoke with you. When anyone talks about you and says members in terms that are so derogatory, so against you, so negative, I want to remind you, as I always remind myself each day, it was your courage, your determination in the UNC and the incarnations before the UNC to stand up against tyranny. You did it. Generations coming through. It was you and our forefathers who did. It was your determination to stop the PNM's tendencies to trample on our Constitution. We stopped them in their tracks, and today we have them back up on the ropes. They are against the ropes now. That is where your opposition and you, because I'm seeing you out there, you're out there doing, you're talking, you don't think UNC is required, people? Not again. Not again. Not again. Because we have to roar. We have to fight. We have to stand up and make the noise. Here, young Visham. I heard Visham tonight when I'm coming. Open the center now. He was shouting, shouting. a firebrand in himself. For something good, we must stand up for what is right and what is good. We must do it, because if we don't, this country will become the dictatorship under which none of us, or none of our children, could ever live. So your duty now is very important. It's all in your hands. I say for you, remember this country's success as a democracy for nearly 6 decades is based on your resolve and your courage and your determination. We have come out of the descendants of slaves, out of the descendants of indentures. We have come out of slavery and indentureship. We have come out of the oil fields, the cane fields, and the rice fields. And you know what? We are strong. I am UNC, and I am proud. I am UNC, and I'm proud. That's where we have come. And today, as descendants out of the oil field, the cane field, the rice field, we see people, the descendants now, walking in the university hallways. We see them walking in the corridors of the hospital as doctors, as nurses, as radiographers, everything else. We see them walking in the school corridors as teachers. We see them on the streets as policemen. In every single walk of life, we, the descendants coming out of the oil fields, the cane fields, and the rice fields, we have risen. We have risen to stand proud, to take our rightful place side by side. That's where we are. We are not children of a lesser God. We are all children of the one God. And we all deserve an equal space and an equal place. Do not let the Rowley P&M take that away from you. So we must never, ever surrender. We must never, ever give up. Take pride and keep your heart strong. I told you, and I share with you again, I may be in body a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and the stomach of a tigress who will fight for her cubs, who will fight for her children. Take heart, never ever surrender. One of the things I always promise you is to listen and then lead. Your voices have been very strong. Out of your strength, we have crafted a vision to move our party and our country forward. We may not have all the answers, but I can give you the assurance we have far more answers than the Rowley P&M. We have listened to you. In the coming months, you will hear more of our plans to continue building our institutions and our vision for Trinidad and Tobago. Critical decisions and decisive actions on the future of our party and our country will have to be made. These decisions include decisions to move. Let us welcome Alan Karim, a great soldier, stalwart of our party. I'm saying as we go forward, we have decisions to make that will impact on our party, that will give us the plan and the program to make our homes and streets safer, improve access to healthcare and education, create more jobs by rebuilding our economy. And we will do that through the drive powered by innovation and creativity of our people. So these are very real issues we have to deal with. And what is required now is a team united and committed to moving this wicked PM out of office, Rowley P&M. We need a team that is solidified with a determination, with a commitment, as I say, to take our party forward into government. I ask you, let us move forward together, because we need to start building the economy of the future based on skills and talents and education and the application of technology, knowing that for this country, in the future, the forces of global competition and tech change mean we can only compete on the basis of skill and ability. We have a roadmap to bring about a new administration, to assist the needy people who have been losing hope and who've been praying for renewal and rebirth in our nation. I ask again, let us put our shoulders to the wheel with the gaze of one united people, and then we can overcome. Our nation needs a team that they can count on to get the job done. The UNC team is ready. We have a vision, we have a mission, and together we will move our party forward and our country forward. My final question to you, as I say to you, I am ready. Are you ready? Are you ready to take our party forward and our country forward? Then say with me as you raise your hand. I am UNC and I am proud. I am UNC and I am proud. God bless you and thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us hear it for the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I'd like you all to welcome on stage. I think we have a change of program. Let's welcome DT and Brian Mohan for entertainment.
What the people want, Kamla? What the people want, bring back Kamla. What the people say, bring back Kamla. What the people want, bring back Kamla. What the people say, bring back Kamla. What the people want, bring back Kamla. What the people say, bring back Kamla. What the people want, bring back Kamla. I vote last time and I vote the time before, but come this time I know who I'm voting for.
Brothers and sisters, as you can see, there's a cake in front here. We are celebrating the birthday of I.A.N, who has been one of our #1 soldiers online and bloggers for the UNC. Let's give I.A.N a round of applause, please, as we say happy birthday, I.A.N.
Hey, baar baar dil ye aaye, baar baar dil ye gaaye, baar baar dil ye aaye, baar baar dil ye gaaye, tujhe hazaron saal. What the people want, bring back Kamla. What the people say, bring back.
Play the birthday song, play the birthday song.
Yeah. Mike. Hey, baar baar dil ye aaye, baar baar dil ye gaaye, baar baar dil ye aaye, baar baar dil ye gaaye, tujhe hazaron saal ye meri hai yaarzu. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, yeah. Happy birthday to you. La 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 la. बेकरार हो के दामन काम लूं मैं किसका, बेकरार हो के दामन काम लूं मैं किसका, क्या मिस